Hey everyone, it's Tammy from Tammy Colors 2. Today I got a little something different. So, my friend Chris from Christopher's Corner was talking to me about something that I was working on, and he's like, be cool if you could film that because I want to see the magic happen. And now I'm thinking, well, I'll just film everything in case in case people want to see the magic happening or the derailment happening, whichever happens first. So, I have a buddy color with Candace from Happy Catastrophe. She'll enjoy this too. I know she will. And it is in the Beauty of Horror Tarot. Because I said I wanted to color something scary with her, but unfortunately I have very limited scary stuff. And I think this is the only book we commonly share. So, she was doing the Chariot, and I'm like, cool, I want to do that. So I have a plan. I am going to use my Artisto watercolor pencils, I believe. We're going to see how this works. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I may completely mess it up. I found, this is hilarious, I was looking for coffin color palettes because I always got to find a way to find something. And it found a coffin shaped eyeshadow palette. And I'm like, those are cool colors. I like those. So I'm going to use these colors that are in this literal palette of eyeshadows. So, hey, however you get your game on, right? So I decided that I want to make my coffin purple. And there is a lovely color in here in the Artisto watercolor pencils called Seance Purple. So we're going to get out our Seance Purple. And I think my wisteria will be a nice light color. We'll see. I've not done watercolor on this paper. I probably should have tested it out first. Hey, we're just gonna go with it. Is there any light in this picture? Let's zoom down. I've got water brushes, I've got watercolor pencils. So I have to decide where my light is coming from, if anywhere. Oh, also, I thought I would show you. I downloaded from a website all of the tarot cards, because he has a book with all the tarot cards on it, or he has all the tarot cards. And since I need to see something, whether I make it that color or not, and my picture isn't that good, but it helps me. I've just decided that seeing something helps me, whether it's the color I wanted or not. Seeing it helps me, because then I go, well, I don't like that color, I can do this color. So but it helps me with light sources and things like that if I'm having trouble. So that's that. I thought that was cool. Sorry, my tablet locked when I was putting it down because I want to look up my coffin palette again. All right, now got my page behind here. Here we go. Wish me luck. Now the question that I have is, we'll do it here. I just want to see how these pencils react with putting them directly on the paper, because sometimes I like putting it on a palette and taking it off, and then sometimes I like just putting it directly on the paper. I tend to be a little worse at just putting it on the paper, but I think it looks like it'll be okay. It's not doing anything weird. So, oh, I keep doing that. Okay, I need my tiny brush. Well, I don't know. I need something that's not going to put out a lot of water is what I need. Okay. So, I'm going to put a little of the lighter purple around this edge here where I feel like the light is hitting, or where I saw it hitting in his picture. Now, I should disclaimer the fact that I am not necessarily good with watercolor pencils, although I do like them a lot. So, we're just going to put a little watercolor pencil down here and see what happens. And we'll do my, I think I'm going to activate it first. So there may be some waiting involved because I'm probably going to have to let this dry or work on something else while it's drying. I'm just experimenting, you know, it's okay. Don't ask me why I'm doing it this way. Because I feel like I have trouble, like, if I want light colors and dark colors, then I have trouble. I always get the colors too dark. And I can go in with pencil after this. I just wanted a little color on that edge before I do the rest of the picture. So, I forgot to anticipate that I would need this to dry. So let me look at my palette of watercolor pencils for my Artisto. Oh, because I was so prepared to do this. This is totally a spur of the moment thing. So pull this out, if I can get it out. All right. Which I noticed that she made a mistake. This is not Derwent Artisto, it's just Artisto, but I get it. She was using she was using another palette and missed changing her name. Happens all the time. Let's see. So I'm gonna put something light on these pyramids because I want them to look sandy. I'm just gonna go with something. I don't know. Hang on a second. Okay, I think I can use this gingerbread here for a kind of a base color for my pyramids. So we're gonna go with that. Find my gingerbread. Goes back here. Gingerbread. I'm sure all of my pencils need to be sharpened. All right. So we're gonna work on this pyramid while my coffin is drying. That sounds funny, isn't it? Doesn't it? So we're gonna put a little watercolor down. Plus, my friend Chris wants to get better at watercolor. So this will be, this paper is nice and smooth. Normally I don't put my watercolor on the paper before I activate it, but because I always get lines. Well, it depends on the pencils I'm using. Some pencils are better than others. So I'll use this. Ta-da! Alright, so then we're gonna, use this biggish kind of brush to go through and activate that. Oh, that's a nice color. This is just another step in my journey to coloring greatness, right? Or at least being able to color a page decently. Since we can't use markers on this, oops, those are obelisks. Those are so gonna be like a dark gray. I think I know what I'm gonna use. I may use my Derwent what are they called? Derwent Derwent, where are they? Graphitant. I'm gonna use my graphitant on those pillars and make them look cool. We'll see. Let me, what else? Let's see. I'm using, okay, so I'm using like a brownish yellowy color. Oh, this is probably another pyramid right here. Missed it. We'll just put a little bit on and we'll pull it down. I'm trying to not get an excessive amount of water on here, which it's tending to want to do. I may have to try the Derwent brushes. I can't remember if they put out the same amount of water as these brushes. I've been trying these brushes out and trying to get used to them so that I can recommend them or not recommend them. And I'm hoping that because we're limiting our use to the center of the page, that it's not gonna make it too scruffy, I guess. So I think that's dry enough that we can go back down and work on our coffin. Now, I routinely do not put enough color down. Just gonna color some in like this. And we'll spread it around. I feel like it would be darker, but I'm gonna have to go in with pencil or something. Probably should have done that with pencil. We'll see. Check it out. All right. To get this really dark, I'm gonna have to put some pencil on top of it. But I was hoping this would give it some texture, I guess. Texture, yep, that's what we're looking for, some texture. Try to blend it in a little bit with that light color that I put on there. I just love it, this Seance Purple. A, it has a cool name, and B, it's a beautiful color. I don't think it's the same, unfortunately, in the pencils. colored pencils. I don't think they have all the same colors. I haven't compared directly. Now, if this works out, this coffin will look, it'll be a dark color. You know, this is just one stage in the development of, let me try to pull some color off of my pencil directly and see what we get there. Ooh, look at that. Smooth it out. Smooth it out. Then I have to decide what color the lining is. And I feel like the lid is going to be shadowed. Let me see. It probably doesn't matter, honestly. I don't do all my shading with my watercolor pencils anyway. I think I'll get to that point. I just need to get more comfortable with them and what they do. And hopefully I don't make a mess out of this. I'm trying not to get my mummy too messy. He'll probably be like a grayish color, and I am going to make his skin, or what's left of his skin, a nice pallid color. You know, rotting flesh. If I was using paint, like I actually do have a miniatures paint, an acrylic paint called Rotting Flesh. Because why? Because that's the way wargamers think, I guess. All right. And then I realized I hadn't smoothed it out much. I'm trying not to get it too wet though, and I am failing miserably at that. But we'll even it out. It's not doing too bad right now, actually. So there is that. What color should my lining be? What color is the lining of a coffin? Well, it's obviously black. Should it be like... I'll have to think about that. So hang on while this dries and I will be back. Okay, so I think I've decided to use some of this cherry red on the inside of the coffin, and then I'm going to add some of this caramel brown to the pyramids. Where'd I get that water? Oh, my water brush is laying here next to me. So I might use my fine water brush for that. Okay, so we'll do the pyramid first. And I think I'm going to try just pulling it off with my water brush, because I wanted to add some like reddishness to the back side of the pyramid. Ta-da! Look at that. Beautiful. And maybe just a little bit down this side, because if you look at pictures of the pyramids, you know, they're kind of reddish The dirt can be red, or is a little bit red. In some places, it's like sandy and red, and so I'm kind of mixing, I guess you could say. I like how that's working. All right. Now, I really like these. One of the reasons I'm using the Artistos is because I hadn't had a chance to try them out. And they just, for a budget pencil, they just dissolve beautifully. I mean, really nicely. So that's encouraging. That's, these maybe, I think Coloring Bliss she did a test, and I don't like advertising very much. I think because I know what it's doing. I know what advertising is supposed to do. And so I'm always kind of railing against that. But, that being said, I don't like it when people, name their videos a certain way. And I don't appreciate that, but I get it. You gotta find some way to entice people or get them to know. I mean, maybe you're not intentionally lying. I think this one up front needs a little more of the brownish in here. I don't know, it wasn't dark enough. Anyway, it's probably just me, But anyway, Coloring Bliss, she did a video on the Artisto colored watercolor pencils, and she said that she would still, I think they're number 3. She did like Wallace watercolor testing, and she said they pretty much rank number 3 now. But she would still, if you can afford Albrecht Dürer, she would point you there. But these are really good, and she's right, these are really good. They're like 17, if you get them on sale, they're like $17 and $20, between $17 and $20. I wish they would come out with a 120 set. I wish somebody would come out with a 160 set, although admittedly these are watercolor pencils are easier to mix. All right, so we were gonna add some cherry. I know I pulled it out. Where'd it go? Oh, is this it? No. Oh, here it is. It's hiding. So we're gonna add some cherry red, because that's one of the colors in the color palette, believe it or not. Or this is what I'm calling it. And again, I'm trying not to get it on him too much. With any luck, when I'm done, this coffin is going to be a really dark purple. That's the goal. I'll have to see what, well, this steering wheel is going to be dark. Plus, it's watercolor pencil. I can get some of it off. Ta-da! There we go. And that's the lining of his coffin. I want that to be a little darker and velvetier too. It's a really interesting coffin, isn't it? All right. we're just laying down some of our base color here. Let's see. I wanted to do these obelisks. And there's a black mamba color. So let's start with black mamba, which is kind of a grayish color here. All right, let's see. It's not black. And then maybe we'll put something red in there for the gem or whatever. Those are curtains. I just wanted my obelisks to be black. I think I was scarred by 2001: A Space Odyssey, which we were just talking about. Oh, I know, when William's dad was in town for the eclipse. 2001: A Space Odyssey is one of my not favorite movies. And admittedly, I need to go back and watch it again. But yeah, it's because of the monkeys at the beginning. It starts with the monkeys at the beginning, and then it just gets worse for me. And it's just one of those movies I don't like. All right. Ooh, that's gonna be cool. We can work with that. All right, so we've got our obelisks. I was gonna use, I think there's a gray stone color that looks like, let's see, that's the gray stone. So I was gonna use it for his bandages, but I might have to mix it with something. I may make it a base color, or I'm gonna pull it off with my water brush and then see. So I don't want it to be like really dark. My nose is itching like crazy today because of the allergies. I'll have to pick the little spots where his skin is peeking through, I think. Because his skin is going to be a color, isn't it? We know. I mean, he's not a zombie, but, you know, his skin can be like zombie-esque. I don't know why that reminds me. When we went to Vegas one year, we'd always go see a show. And one year, and I don't know if they still have it or not, but they had zombie burlesque. Oh my God, it was so funny. I totally recommend it. I can't remember what hotel it was at. Not that any of them are the same, but we would always be in Bally's, and so I know it was close to Bally's. I want to say Hollywood, but that doesn't exist anymore. What casino was that? I guess I'm doing a really bad job. I'm not getting enough water on here. I'm trying to be minimalist with my water, and I'm not getting enough water. So let's do that. I'll leave some open spaces for his skin. to poke out, like there, here, there. Where else? Doesn't have to stick out in a lot of places. But I want it to stick out a little bit. Great. In there. All right. Now maybe I can see. I feel like his entire chin is sticking out, so all right. So I'm trying to leave it kind of white-ish. But we will add some kind of, I don't know, like a parchment-y kind of tint to it. But I wanted it to look, oh, I missed that part with the lid. I always miss some things. It's because I didn't think about it being in the steering wheel. There. We'll let him dry and work on that later. Hang on, let me get this kind of off of the steering wheel. Kind of lift it up a little bit. There. And kind of blend that in. That's the nice thing about watercolors. If you're not happy with it, you can move it around. That's also the bad thing about watercolor is you can move it around. It's kind of a double-edged sword there. But we can clean up what we don't like with pencils, probably. Let's see. What do I... Oh, I wanted to fix this. I needed to get these little spaces with here. I'm sure that'll be fine. I probably should have just waited and colored it in with pencil. That's okay. It'll be fine. It's fine. I haven't done a video in so long. I'm not used to talking and coloring at the same time. So I apologize. Let's see. What else do we want to do? I think I might, well, no, I want to do his skin with watercolor, but I don't know what color. I have to let this dry a little bit. As it hurricanes outside. All right, so his, I just want to check what color. So I'm going to use this turquoise pearl or lake green. Turquoise pearl would be nice. I don't really have a light color, so we might have to fudge that. But I'm going to turn this a little bit. And, yep, I'm making this turquoise. Because why? Because that's what I want to do. It's So we're just gonna put some turquoise down here and use it as a base, and then we'll clean it up with pencil. I'm gonna use my big water brush. I don't like that little one as much. Get a little bit of base color down here. And then that'll be cool. Then I need to add some to here, because that's all curtain. At least I think that's all curtain. I realized where it was, probably wasn't in camera. It's okay, you just missed me scratching stuff on. No big deal. Like I said, this is the ugly stage, and then we'll clean it up. And I have to decide whether I'm fast forwarding this video and doing a voiceover, which I might do, if I can figure it out. This may be my test video for a voiceover. All right. I have to decide about the fringe. Like, well, it's got this ripped material, which I assume is still turquoisey colored, but it's weird. I don't like weird things. I already have enough weird in my life. I don't need my pictures to be weird also. Oops. Because remember, in my color palette, which is this, see, there's that green color. So I'm pretty much sticking to the colors, oops, in my color palette. And I think, believe it or not, my sky is going to be orange and red. Because that's just going to be awesome, like an orange and red sky with my, I mean, it's kind of a cartoony look anyway. It's not like I'm going for realism. I want it to look like a card. All right, I'm going to let that dry, and then we'll come back. All right, so now I'm going to do some sky. I've got Mars Red, which is kind of an orange color. Here, you can see them better here. I decided on Mars Red and Garnet Red. So those two colors should look good together, with any luck. I think what I'm gonna do is just put some Mars Red down, and I think I'm gonna go over the clouds because I want the clouds to have a red glow to them, if that makes sense. We'll put some darker color in there later. Throw some of this down like this. I'm trying to be more patient with my coloring and my techniques also. All right, that should give me a nice light orange color. Sure there's nothing on my brush, and then we'll just smoosh this around. I still have to do this fringe of the, I don't know what this is called, banner. The banner fringe, I guess. We'll just put that on there like that. I guess I didn't think about the yellow factor. Yellow, for some reason, will be the color that makes printing run if it's going to. And it's just something about the chemical composition of yellow. So you have to be careful. Like, I didn't even think about it, so it's a little late now, but sometimes it will cause your printing. Now, usually it's, I mean, this is a higher quality printing, so it shouldn't do that, but oh, there's always that potential when you're adding water to anything that wasn't meant to have water. Oh, see, look. I missed a spot. We're gonna grab some, stick it right there. I always miss a spot. Did I miss any other sky? I mean, that's sand. I guess there's sky right there. All right, so that can dry. We're gonna have a nice orangey red sky. Stones. I still haven't decided what color. I might get out my Derwent for this stuff. Let me put some, just gonna do some black. I haven't decided on the skull. I'm gonna do some black on these tires, right? Because they would probably be black tires, right? Just throw a little on there. Make sure my brush is clean. And I assume that's kind of a metal-ish rim, so I may have to come back in there with something that looks vaguely more metallic and do the inside rim. Now that I'm thinking about it, oh, I missed a tire. Because this isn't running on 2 tires, it's running on 4. I like the way, you know, watercolor naturally gives you shading. And you don't necessarily have to color it. If you have good watercolor, decent watercolor even, you can just color some down and spread it. But then again, like I said, my techniques are not the best or the most professional, but for the moment they work for me until I learn to do it differently. So now I'm gonna do the sand. When that dries, let's see, I have to do the sand, I need to do the rocks, I need to do that. And when this dries, I need to go in here and add some red to that and make the sky look kind of red, reddy orange. So yeah, but I gotta figure out what colors my sand is gonna be and my rocks. I have a feeling my rocks are gonna be kind of orangey. So yeah, and I don't want to do this fringe until that's dry. Because why? Because I have learned my lesson. I guess I could just make the steering wheel black. I mean, that's not very exciting, but what color should the skull be? Just put a little black in here. Because I mean, really, colors have you seen steering wheels be? There's not a whole lot of variation. Get some of that water off of my brush. Maybe in a minute I'm going to try the Derwent brushes and see if they, I don't expect them, I've used them some, but I don't expect them to put out any less water really, because to me I think these are essentially the same brushes. Oh yeah, I missed. Just grab a little off the pencil to add some black to that spoke and that spoke. There we go. We'll fix that up. Hopefully it will look nice when we're done. And the ugly stage is over. We're getting there. All right. All right. So now that it's dry, I'm going to take some of this cherry red color. Oh, there's the color. In IA568. And I'm going to put some red on top. Now this is not a dark red. It's just a bright, what I would consider fiery red, I guess. To kind of make it, put some shadow in there. And hopefully, I may have to get yet a darker red, but that may have to be in pencil. All right, let's see. Now I could have put them on together when I was doing the orange, but I chose not to because I'm trying to limit the amount of water, and I wanted the red to be a little more on top of the orange. Even though watercolors, it's kind of hard to do that because they reactivate. But I think that will give me an effect that I want, and I can add some pencil on there. I still haven't figured out what color to make the sand. I need to test my graphitints while that's drying, because I still need to do this, but I don't want to do that until this part's dry. And I definitely want to make the top part here redder, darker, more rich. And if you wonder where my ring went to today, I take it off when I'm putting lotion on in the morning, and I left it in the bathroom, and my husband was taking a shower, so I take it off and put it in the bathroom. So I don't like to get gushy or lotion all over it, because when I worked as a when I was in college, I worked at it was called Kenrick's. It was like a service merchandise kind of place where they had a little bit of everything, but they had a jewelry counter, and I worked at the jewelry counter, and women would come in and get their rings cleaned, and where they had them in the kitchen and stuff, and I'm like, I don't want all that stuff in my ring ever, because it's a pain in the butt to get out, to clean them. But anyway, more on my psychosis. I'm liking the way this is looking. Really, I need to get his skin color in there. I mean, it's almost done. I mean, I would say if I had done this straight without filming it, by the time I get done, it would maybe take me 45 minutes. But I'm allowing for dry time and stuff like that. And filming this always takes a little longer, so it's kind of cool. Anyway, let me figure out my sand. I'll be back. So, I determined that when I was looking at pictures of the pyramids, because that's how I do it, that the sand is the same color as the pyramids in a way, and it just changes based on the light and all that. So I'm going to use the gingerbread again, and we're just going to make it lighter because the sand is full on, so we're not going to put like a whole bunch in here. I still got to figure out my skull. The rocks are going to be like a grayish color. So we're just going to throw some color in here because this is what I do. This is me being brave. This is raw, uncut footage of me putting pencil down on a page and not being afraid of the results. Trying to be more, I spend a lot of time thinking about doing things, and I gotta stop. Stop the thinking. I mean, I do have to think some, don't get me wrong, but I think I'm like so happy with what I'm doing. What did there's a woman I watch on Instagram, which probably a lot of y'all do too, Applesauce and ADHD, I think. She's the one that's always, if I say, it'll be fine, it's where I get it from. She does aggressive tutorials. I should check her out. She is a lot of fun. She has a lot of followers. She's been on the news and stuff like that. She lives in Michigan. I figured out from one of her posts. So that was that explains. I mean, not that it's bad. I mean, it's cool. It's just that if you live in Michigan or have ever been to Michigan, it's like California or wherever, everyone has their sayings, like Ohio, and some things I know, and then some things I'm like, I didn't realize that was just a Midwest thing, or that was, oops, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. That's just a Midwest thing or whatever. I forget what it was the other day. That we measure distance in minutes, not in miles. Now, that's an interesting question for y'all. So, how many people measure distance in minutes rather than miles? I was led to believe that it's kind of just a Midwest thing. Because we don't care how many miles it is, really. We just care how long it's going to take to get there. So I don't know. I can't remember what made me say that. There was a couple of guys, funny Wisconsin comedians. Oh gosh, it's so true. You know those things that you don't realize you do or everyone around you does until someone points it out because they're not from there. And like my husband grew up in Wisconsin, and he was born in Michigan, grew up in Wisconsin, went to college in Michigan. And I mean, basically right next to each other, so they're not that far apart. I mean, yeah, there's sort of a state in between, but not much. Anyway, I didn't realize one day we hadn't been together all that long, I said something like, he said we, he used like a plural form, and we have a habit around here of saying who, you and the mouse in your pocket. When you're saying the plural and you're only meaning yourself, you say who, you and the mouse in your pocket. And he looked at me and I'm like, what? He's like, the mouse in my pocket. I'm like, what, you never heard that? He's like, no. So I don't know where that came from. Just something we say around here, but he had never heard it. So I don't know how far that one goes. We'll leave that like that. That's what I like about watercolor. You can make your ground look really nice. I'll have to try to clean that up a little bit. Ooh, nice sand. That's a nice sand color. I'm liking this. Liking it. So now I'm going to add a little bit of this to this fringe, and I don't think I can get it dark enough. So we'll just go color it and wet it, and then we'll just do the rest with pencil, but I want to get it in the same state. Oops, there's a lot of water on that. Didn't I say I was going to try my Derwent here and see if there was a difference? We'll get the Derwents out and see, because I am actively trying not to add too much water to my paper. Although this paper seems to be doing pretty good. It's not, you can see it's warped in the middle because I'm not going out to the edges. It's doing pretty well. I mean, there's really nice paper in this book. So that is the thing about these watercolors. They are not very opaque, which I didn't expect them to be, but sometimes you want a little darker. And all of my watercolor pencils actually have different characteristics. I have these, the Artistos. I have the Anna Valachi, which you can't even get anymore. I will fix that. We'll make that fringe look a little more, either we'll make it look more tattered or whatever. We'll put some metal around these wheels. I'll find some of my metallic watercolor and we'll make that look a little bit metallic in there. I may get the less shiny one, and we'll do these handles and stuff. So just need to do the rocks. I was gonna do the rocks with granite gray. And we'll put a little bit on there because it's kind of a warm gray. It's not a cool gray. So I'm just gonna color a little bit on here. Because with these, I'm finding I can't really do a lot of, you get one color, it's hard to darken it. That's fine. I have plants in my office and I have watered them too much and I have little gnats. So what are they called? There's a name for them, fungus gnats, because they, when you water your plants, they live on the, I think, fungus that you can't even see that grows. And or what it was I think I've woken them up, because I've had them before, but they're not, these are really tiny ones, not the bigger ones that annoy you. But I see them every now and again in my office, and I know it's my plants. I need to find a way. I told my husband I was trying to find a way to put my plants in the living room, because I don't have enough windows in my house they're all taken up by cat. Because, you know, cats are solar powered. You have to have, you know, when you have cats, you have to have enough window for your cats. And the plants kind of suffer. Alright, so I finally got my rocks. I've got everything. I need to do his skin. But his skin might actually get done with pencil because it's so small and will make his eyes red. That'll be cool. So I'm going to let this dry. Alright, here we go. Final stretch of the picture. I have pulled out a bunch of colors from the Artisto pencils to shade with. Turquoise and red, and so I've got, you know, all of these that I'm going to use to shade the different elements. Then I decided for his skin I needed to pull out my Black Widow pencils, Poison. I'm either going to use Poison or Washed Green. I haven't decided because, you know, Black Widow has the amazing colors. And then the inside of the coffin lid, I'm either going to use Evil Red or Burgundy. So, and then we're going to color this here, and we're going to use some glaze pen to make it stand out. Those are my pencils. And then we're going to use some Kohlrabi watercolors for the wheels. It looks darker than it is. That's why I chose it. I looked at all of my metallics, and it really seemed to be the one that I wanted. So we're just going to do a little bit of shading here and hopefully get this done. We'll see what turquoise pencil, you know, we'll just, oh, that turns out, that works great. I was hoping. Unfortunately, they don't have the same names, but then again, I don't think, you know, I haven't used the Albert Durers in conjunction with my Polychromos enough, which is sad to know if they all have the same names. Because that would be the exception. Most of the ones that I have seen, if there's a watercolor pencil, they don't, it doesn't follow. It doesn't seem to, you know, match the same color names, which there's a question there. That's my question, is why? Why don't they match? Let's see, I'll do that. A little shading there, a little shading back here, a little shading right there to make it more dark. Maybe right there. I'm kind of following the shading that the artist has given us. That I may have done badly on, I don't know. And we'll use the shading on here and see how that works for us. All right, it might work. I may have chosen well. Let's see. I mean, I'm actually, it's funny that I chose the Artisto pencils. To be honest, I had them out because I'm doing my review video on them. Or that's not a review video, my getting to know my colored pencils video on them. And I looked and I'm like, ooh, those I think are all the colors that I need. So I think it's working out rather well. Don't you know? I don't know how this is going to look when I get it done, but we're going to see. I can't really, I don't know if it's because this paper is really smooth. Can't decide where I need more shading. Let's do a little bit of this in here. I need to use this pencil, the lighter color, to blend this out a little bit, because I'm just not happy with the way it's going down. This is very smooth paper, and I think that maybe them being cheaper pencils, they just work better on paper that's not very smooth. I can't decide if I need something just a hair darker for my shading in here. We'll see. Like I said, this is supposed to look kind of cartoony, so I'm not going for the realistic approach. Oops, I missed those down here. And theoretically, it shouldn't take me very long to get all the shading in. Oops. Trying to cover up some of my watercolor. Yeah, I got watercolor on parts of this that I didn't mean to get watercolor on. I try really hard to get those off, and sometimes I miss things when I'm correcting. There, that looks a little better. I'm not sure what I'm going for on that banner. I might have to add a darker color. That's probably what it is. I probably need one color darker. Oh, but I don't know. And I could use the dark green, because you can see the dark green in this set, or sorry, dark cyan. It's kind of a greenish blue, so I think that would work to give me the dark recesses that I need for this. Where is my, here it is, dark cyan. Ta-da! So let's just add a little bit of that. I'm not sure how many layers I'm gonna get, or if it's gonna match well, but we're gonna try it. Because, you know, with these cheaper pencils, I think more layers is just not in the cards most of the time. Although I do really like them. Just hard to get that extra oomph that you need sometimes. And I don't know how well this is looking, how good this is looking. I can talk today, really. Let's make that dark there, and then we'll blend it out a little bit with this. That's better. Now we're cooking with gas. All right. A little bit over here. I need just a little bit darker back here. I realize I haven't really been talking about much. So what was I doing? Let's see, I mowed grass today. William and I are finally joining a church up here in Columbus, which is exciting. I have never moved my membership. I mean, I've gone to different churches up here in Columbus, but I never moved my membership because I would always go in Waverly with my parents, and you know, I just didn't want to move my membership until I was sure, because I mean, gosh, I've been a member of that church since I was 12 or 14. It was a long time ago. And my mom's excited for us because she really likes the minister. I think she wishes she could come up here. Let me tell you, I keep telling her she should write a book because there's more drama that goes on in churches than any other place. I think sometimes so much drama. Maybe it's only in small towns. Oh. All right, I am gonna call that cheated. We're gonna a little over that. See if I'm happy with my banner. I kind of like it. All right, now I wanted to take some red, in which case this is Imperial Red from the Artisto pencils. I wanted to put a little bit more red in this sky. Make it really, you know, show up. Because for whatever reason, I just saw, I guess because, well, you know, it's zombies. I'm sure the skies might be red. That may have been a mistake. I just wanted it to really pop. I wanted it to be a really rich color, right? Here, oh, I don't want to forget that. The question that I'm having is, what should I do with the clouds? Should I make the tops of them red and leave them orange underneath? I didn't pull out an orange pencil, but I can. Well, either I'll like that or I won't. We'll see. I might have to go get a blender pencil, but let me see if I can use one of these blenders to do this. I'll use one of my Caran d'Ache blenders. See, there's this down here. I need to get some orange pencil. I don't know, it kind of looks interesting. I just wanted it to be a little more blended in. There we go. That looks like an eerie sky, even though I know it's like there's I guess I could try to find a pencil that would, it's either gotta be scarlet red or orange red. I don't know if I should blend it in or not. I wonder, no? I think it's just scarlet, actually. Oh, yeah. So I'll use a little scarlet, you know, That's not a bad color. To kind of make it even that out a little bit so it doesn't have such a harsh line. I mean, in some ways it makes it look more eerie. Make the clouds look all eerie. All right. Let's see. I was going to use the I'm just moving along here, aren't I? This little line has been bugging me forever. I feel like I'm zoomed in too close, but you know, y'all wanted to see it, I'm sure. Just wanted to shade that in a little bit. Maybe put some shading around here. Oh, I guess it's got kind of a shadow, doesn't it? Already. We got shadows, yay! I don't really think I need a lot of pencil on these pyramids because they're pretty good. I just wanted to make sure that they didn't blend too much with the ground. I need them to look different. But yet they're all made out of the same material, so they're going to look similar. Okay, so we got that. I want to shade these obelisks just a hair. With my black. I like this. I don't even have to move the picture around because it's so small. It just kind of flows in. Look at that. I'm going to put a little here. A little bit there. A little bit here. And then I'll fill this in with a nice bright red. And then we will just saw that I wanted to make that a little bit scarletier. Is that a term? Scarletier. And then I wanted to make sure that this edge was really darkened. That way it looks eerie. Looks so eerie. Yay! Love it, love it, love it. We're gonna... or should I make it more of a... Put a little bit of this dark red color. Make it a little darker. Now I gotta get my pen flowing. We'll see. Yeah, I got some on there. I think I need to do his eyes. So, because of course his eyes need to be red. I mean, come on. The zombie eyes. Oh, I don't want to put that on there yet. I gotta do his skin. So we're gonna try some poison, and I felt like, I don't know, I'm just not sure if the poison is going to show up as well. use a little morning fog to make sure that that is colored in. That way there's a stark difference between his face and his skin, I guess. I'm not really sure which color I like better. I'm just trying to make a little bit of skin stick out here and there. Those are his teeth. What else? I thought I left. Oh yeah, there's a space on his arm. It's hard to find all the little spaces that I left open. I think that was it. I didn't leave very many. I just wanted a hair of stuff. And then I don't think I colored his hands, which is a shame. There, he doesn't look bad. Take a little darker gray. Make sure he looks shadowed in certain spaces. Because his neck is definitely shadowed a little bit. Maybe that there, here. I think I left this space for his skin. Just put a little shadow here and there to kind of, that would probably be pretty dark under there. All right, that's better. He's got a little shading. Coffin lid. The problem with the coffin lid is I'm not entirely sure I think I want the shading to be like that. I mean, it's however I see it, so it's not really right or wrong. And, you know, there's no art police that are gonna come take me away because I didn't get it right, but needed to make sure I colored in here because there's spaces. Now I don't have a lighter color, so I'm gonna use some, I'm gonna try to use a blender pencil to kind of make it a little more viable for me. I realized what I just did there. I just negated all of my highlighting. Ay, ay, ay. It's okay. We will fix it. Somehow we'll fix it. I feel like I need another color of purple, but I don't think I have one that I can use. Because the one that I'm using is, well, this will work because it's kind of like the light color that I used. That's what I needed. Might have to work on this coffin a little bit. Oh yeah, I just realized I haven't been talking. Maybe I'll have to speed this up or something. That's looking better. this would be dark too. Can't get a lot more pencil on there. It's kind of, I think I've reached my maximum pencil limit. That's not bad. Let's make the inside. Where's the other one? Here it is. Oh yeah, there we go. I don't really have a lighter pencil, so kind of depending on this to blend it out a little bit. All right. I'm a little upset that I slapped his eyeballs and I can't get that off of there. Let me take my gray and shade my rocks a little bit here. These rocks here. That looks decent. Let's just clean that off. Clean my blender off a little bit. Kind of mush that in there. It's smooth paper, so tends to moosh around better. All right, much better. Color should I make these? Just color them in with camel color there, so they're darker caramel, whatever color this is. All right, home stretch. Let's see. Here we go. Fix all the places where I didn't get any watercolor. All right, that doesn't look bad. There. Now, oh, I need to shade my steering wheel a tad. Okay. Now I just need to keep wondering if I should shade these a little before I put the watercolor on them. All right, let's try it. Grab some of my silver. We're almost done. So this is gonna have to dry. Trying to get it a little bit thicker. Put a little silver on my, is this where it goes wrong? Is this where I decide that it's too weird? I put silver on my skull. I may have to shade it a little bit. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. When it dries, it should look okay. And I can shade the skull. I need to shade the skull a little bit. There, everything is colored. All right, so here it is finished. My first picture in here. I went ahead and I put some acrylic paint on the edges. I don't know if I'll do that again. I like it, but I don't like it in a way. I'm kind of, yeah, I'm on the fence. I think it's because I really hate this gritty texture that the matte leaves. But I'm happy with the picture overall. Obviously, I need to work on my techniques, but that's why we do this. So, you know, I'm just not good with watercolor paint on certain things and making it look good. I should just go back over this with a pen or a pencil or something and kind of reduce a little bit of that shine, but then again, it's kind of cool. So, but yeah, I'm happy with how it came out. I love my color scheme. You know, what can you do with sand and stuff? My sky is really pretty. I'm happy with that. So, well, I hope you had a good time. Thanks for just watching me at random. And I'm sure I'll come up with something else. I hope y'all have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.